Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. Today we are going to make a basket of flowers diamond, and I just love this that I came up with this. This is so cool. Anyway, so I'm excited, but there is a lot of colors in this, and so just giving you forewarning. Anyway, but I think it'll be fun nonetheless. I need to get some of this green. We're going to need green, blue. You're going to need a brown and a dark brown. You're going to need a purple, a lavender. Um, I'm going to use this mango and this as the middle. This is one of the flowers, and this as the middle. And then the other flowers are purple and yellow. Purple and lavender. And then we have little yellow specks. So I'm going to use this yellow. And there's my glasses. I wonder where those went. And then here is, I'm going to use this blue as a background. And we're going to start out with green and blue. And as usual, I am using my 6mm hook. Yes, that is a J hook, my 6mm, my favorite hook in the world. All right, so we are going to start out with green, and we are going to chain 2, and in the second chain from the hook, we're going to put a single crochet and 2 doubles in that chain. That is our falling leaf stitch. That is also a block or a square, however you want to say it. So row 1 has 1 block in it, so row 1 is complete. Row 2, chain 2 and turn. And you will always start your row out this way, chain 2 and turn, and in the second chain from the hook, we are putting a single crochet and 2 doubles. So for the next, until we get to row 25, you will be starting out your row like that. Now, to do the second square, because row 2 is 2 squares, we need to skip the next 2 stitches, and in this last stitch, which is also a single crochet, because you will always be working in your single crochets when it's a falling leaf stitch, you'll put another falling leaf stitch in there. And there you have it. And we have 2 squares. Okay. So chain 2 and turn for row 3. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to put our falling leaf stitch in there with the green. In this pattern, you'll always start with green and end with green. So you're always going to need to carry your green with you. Okay, this row, we have the blue in the middle of the greens. So I'm going to bring the blue in. I did not finish that second double crochet because I'm going to finish it off with the blue. And then I'm going to make that long enough because we need to tie down ends at the end. Okay, and then we're going to skip the 2 and go into our single, which is right in the middle, and put our blue square in. And I had carried my green with me. Bring in the green, and then we're going to finish it off with the green. So row 3 is green, blue, green. Easy peasy. Okay, and that's what it looks like thus far. All right, so row 4, chain 2 and turn. And as you notice that every row goes up by one number. So row 1 has 1 square, row 2 has 2 squares, row 3 has 3 squares, and row 4 will have 4 squares, and so forth until you get up to 25 rows, and then you should have 25 squares. So it'll always go up by 1 square, and if that happens, then you know you're doing it right. So I'm making my first green square in the second chain from the hook right now, and I need to go to blue. So I'm going to bring up the blue and finish off that stitch, and then make sure you're carrying our green because we need the green at the other end. So now we need to put 2 blues in the middle of the greens. And don't forget, when you go to your next square, to make your next square, you're skipping the 2 doubles and going right into that single. So now I am going to switch over to my green and finish off this row with the green square. And there you have it. So that is 4 rows. And we better be starting to mark it off before I get too far ahead of myself here. Mark them off, because as it gets more and more colors down here, I'll get confused. All right, which, that goes with it. Chain 2, and turn for row 5. And we're, again, starting off in the second chain from the hook. And this time we're going to have 3 blue in between the 2 greens. So, switching over to blue and carrying my green with me. If I seem to be going too fast, there is a toggle up to the right of your screen, and you can slow me down. But I know I am a fast crocheter. All right, and then there is row 5. So let's go on to row 6. So let's chain 2 and turn. These first few rows are so easy. So, and they go pretty quick. So in row 6, we need 4 blues in between the 2 greens. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Switching over to our green to finish off the row. And you should have 6 squares. All right, chain 2 and turn for row 7. And in this row, you will have 5 blue squares in between the greens. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. All right, and switching over to our green square. There we go. And that is row 7. So row 8, let's chain 2 and turn for row 8. And in row 8, we need 6 blue squares in between the 2 greens. So let's start out with our green. I forgot. I need to come in with the blue. And I know I've said this many times, but I love to do pictures. It's like putting a puzzle together. I love puzzles too. All right. So to me, it's both worlds, and this is so artistic and yeah, artist art. I like art too. Not that I could do a lot of art, but give me yarn and I can paint with yarn. Love it. And I have my summer blouse on today, as you guys can see. I'm so excited to wear it. I just finished it on Friday. I wore it to church today and got many compliments on it. Alright, now I am going to finish this row off with the green square. And there. This is what we have for 8 rows. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we need to mark those 4 rows off that we just finished. Row 9. So we are going to chain 2 and turn. There we go. So in row 9, we need 7 squares, blue squares, in between the 2 greens. So we'll start out with the green and bring in our blue. So there's one. I love this blue and green together. It's so pretty. There's two. Three. Four. 5. 6. 7. And there we have it. All right, so that is row 9, and let's go on to row 10. And so we're going to start out with the green again. I need to get some more green here. All right. Now we are going to be needing 8 squares in between, 8 blue squares in between the 2 greens in row 10. And that will also give us 10 squares in this row. All right, so there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. All right. So there is 9 and 10 completely finished. So let's mark them off. And chain 2 and turn for row 11. So this is getting a little bit more involved. All right, so we need to start out with our green square, switching over to blue, we need 2 blue squares, so there's 1, 2, back to green, and we need 1 green square here, and then back to blue, and now we need 6 blue squares and a green, and that should finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Switching over to our green, and then finishing it off with that green square. And that is row 11. All right, so row 11 is done. Let's mark it off. In row 12, we're bringing in our brown. So we're bringing in another color. Let's start out with our green though, with our first square and the second chain from the hook. And then we need our blue. And I need 1 blue. And then I just need a regular brown, not the dark brown, the regular one. And we're carrying our blue and our green with us as we're doing this brown. So we need 3 of these browns. So there's 1, 2, and 3. All right, switching back over to blue. And let's try not to get these 2. There we go. Try to keep these in order so we don't get them tangled. So we need 3 blues. So there is 1. 2. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, we did 3 browns, right? Yes. I want to leave that brown behind. We're not going to carry that over there. We don't need that. Now let's do our blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now let's switch over to our green. And we need 1 green. And then switching back to our blue, we're going to finish this off with 2 blue and a green and 12 squares. Oh, we need another blue. Hang on, I'm not switching off yet. And now we're switching off with this one. Alright, so there is row 12. Marking that off. So row 13, we're going to be bringing in the dark brown along with that regular brown. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. And then we're going to start in the second chain from the hook with our green. Switching over to our blue, we are needing 2 blue so there's 1 and 2. And now we need to switch over to our green and put 1 green in. Alright, and now we need our regular brown. And bring it over here. So we are needing 5 brown right now. So there's 1. 2. 4, and 5. Now we need a dark brown in here. So 1 dark brown, which means we're going to carry everything with us for a minute. And then bring back our brown. I'm leaving that dark brown there. We need 1 regular brown right here. And then we're going to finish this off with 1 blue and 1 green. All right. Leaving that brown behind there. So 1 blue and 1 green. It looks like we've got a good start on the basket. Let's mark off row 13. Looks like we're going to add a yellow in the next row. I sort of need to fix these because they're not in the right order. Alright, so we have brown here. And then the dark brown. Let's add some more, pull out some more of this green. There. Now it'll come out the skein after that's gone. All right. All right, so let's chain 2 and turn. All right, and row 14, we need 1 green, 1 blue to start us out. And then we need to switch over to the brown, and we need 3 brown, there's one. Two. Three. And then we need a dark brown. So one dark brown here. And then switching over to our brown. Are you kidding me that I left that brown behind? Hang on a second. We'll put this dark brown back in. Now we need a brown, and we just need one brown. Switching over to our green. Now we need two green. So there's one. Two. And we're going to switch over to our yellow. And now we just need one yellow right here. Yes, I see you. There comes pumpkin. And then we need to switch over to our blue. And then we need one blue. So the next four, we're going to do blue, green, blue, green. We're going to switch them off back and forth. Wait a minute. There we go. So next one is green. Next one is blue. And then the last one is green. I don't know if you can hear her, but she is purring very loudly. My pumpkin is always a happy cat. All right, so there's that. We are going to cut off this yellow because we won't be using that anymore. our next couple of rows. Let's chain 2 and turn. And there's going to be a lot of ends to this pattern, just so you know. There's going to be a lot of those ones that I'm just going to cut off. I am not going to be carrying them all the way through. Too many colors to be carrying. So it's a lot easier just to sew the ends in. Alright, so we're going to start out, well, that was 14, and let's mark that off. And go to 15. And 15, we're going to end up with 15 squares altogether. So we're starting off with our green and then going to our blue. And again, for 4 rows, we're going to go green, blue, green, blue. I mean 4 squares, not rows. All right. So green, blue, green, and blue. All right. And we are bringing in another color. We are needing a brown, a regular brown here. So bring that up. And then we need our mango. So we need 2 mango. And this is like a peach color, a little bit darker peach color. It's so pretty. I'm leaving those behind. And we need back our brown again. Yes, our regular brown. We only need 1 regular brown. And then we need our green. So I'm going to put a green right here. And back to our regular brown again. So this one we're going to bring up this dark brown because we're going to need it next. So we're just kind of bringing that dark brown up. So we need 2 regular brown in here. And then we're going to switch over to our dark brown. So then we need a dark brown and another regular brown. Go back to our regular brown. We can leave that dark brown behind. And then we just need a blue and a green, and that'll finish this row off. And that is what row 15 looks like. We'll mark that off. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start in the second chain from the hook with our green. Per usual. And then switching over to our blue. And then we need regular brown, and we need 3 of those. So there's 1. 2. We need to bring up that dark brown with us on this one. Make sure you have that dark brown in there. This is the third one, and then we're switching over to the dark brown. So we need a dark brown here. And then switch back over to the light brown. We're leaving that dark brown there. We don't need it anymore. And then we need 1 light brown. And we're not going to need it anymore either. So then we're going to switch over to our green. And we need green here. And then we're going to bring up this mango. And we need a mango right here. And then I want to bring in the middle. This is going to be in the middle of my mangoes. It's like a pinkish purple. I think it'll look pretty with it. And then we're going back to the mango again. And then we need our our green again. So one green, and then we need a yellow again. And then we should have 3 left. So those are going to be green, blue, green. So switching back to our green, we need green, blue, green to finish off this row. And there we have row 16 completely finished. All right, so let's mark it off. All right, we are not, let's chain 2 and turn. So 2 things. We are not going to be using this yellow again for a while. So let's cut it off so we don't have to worry about that. Or this pinkish lavender, we're going to cut it off too. Well, like I said, there's going to be a lot of ends to be sewing in this project. All right, so we are going to start out here with our green for row 17 and then switch over to our blue. And we are going to need 2 blue, so there's 1, and 2, and then back to our green. We need 3 green, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to bring up this mango. And we just need 2 mango here. So there's 1. And 2. And then we need our green again. Leave that mango behind. And as a matter of fact, we're going to cut it off because we're not going to need that either for a while. So a lot of these colors I'm going to be cutting off and restarting somewhere else. So we're not going to need it for a while. We don't need that. So now I need a dark brown first after this green. Oh, come on. And then I'm going to bring in this regular brown, and we need 3 of those. Yeah, I'm going to need that dark brown again. So let's carry that dark brown with us too. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then back to our dark brown. So we want 1 dark brown, and 1 regular brown, and then we need a blue and a green, and we will be done with this row. All right, and that's 17 rows there. All right, so let's mark that row off. It looks like we're going to be bringing in some new colors. Working on another flower. All right. Let's chain 2 and turn. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Alright, we're going to start out in the second chain from the hook with our green, and then we're going to need blue next. Are you kidding me? I just untangled that. Alright, we need one blue here. And then we're going to go to brown. And we need 3 brown. So there's 1, 2, and then as we're doing this third brown, we need to bring up this dark brown. So we have it ready next. So there's 3. And then we need 1 dark brown here. And switch over to brown. And then we need 2 brown next. And we're going to switch over to green. And we need 4 green. So there's 1. 2. 3. And 4. And then we need a purple. So we need 2 purples. One, and 2. Leave that behind. Go to our blue. And we need 3 blue and a green, and that will finish off this row. There's 1, 2,
I gotta get a shower.
3,
I sweat.
and here's our green. Alright, so this is what row 18 looks like. I'm trying to think how this is actually the right side over here, but we've got our bottom of our basket going here, and alright, so let's mark off 18. Now before we know it, we're going to have these 25 rows done. The first 25 anyway. Alright. Chain 2 and turn. And we are starting with our green, per usual. And then we're going to switch over to our blue. So we need 3 blue. There's 2, and here's the third one. And then we're going to bring up our purple. Uh-oh. Bring in our purple here. So this, we're going to need purple, lavender, purple right here, which means we're going to bring in our lavender. And then we need our purple back. And then we're going to keep our purple one because we're going to need it again. We're going to go to our green. And we are going to need 2 green. And then back to our purple. And we need 2 purples. Leaving that there, we are going to need It is a dark brown, so the dark brown, bring it over. We're going to pull up this regular brown too, though, and bring it with us as well. We still need our green and our blue. Don't leave it behind. All right, so we need one dark brown here, and then we need a green. I'm going to bring this dark brown with us. We need it later. So we need this green here. And then we need two regular brown. And then gonna leave that regular brown behind. I need the dark brown again. And I'm gonna put dark brown right here. And then we need three blue and a green. Two blue and a green. So say I was looking at the wrong thing. So now, and that'll finish it off. This row off. Two blue and a green. That is row 19. And we're going to mark it off. Row 20 is next. You should have 20 squares at the end of this row. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to need this lavender over here, so I'm cutting it off here. We're going to need that later. All right. We made those chains too tight. All right. Starting out with our green, we need two blue, one, and two. Now I need a regular brown. And I need two brown. Bringing up this dark brown with me. And we're switching over to the dark brown. And we need one dark brown here. And then switching back over to the brown, we need one brown. And then we need to switch over to the green. And we need a green here. All right. I need this blue with me. Leaving the browns behind. All right, we're going to bring on the purple. And now we need a purple, lavender purple. I didn't get that whole stitch. Hang on a minute. There we go. This next one is the lavender. And purple. All right, and now we need a yellow. And we don't need that purple anymore. We need that purple behind. We need to put a yellow here. Oh, that's not true. We do need that purple. Hang on a second. All right, so there's our yellow. And then green. I'm going to put a green here. Goodness. And we need the purple again. And so now we need two purple in here. That finishes off this flower. And then we need to switch over to let's just, I can cover that up, I suppose, on the way back. We'll see how this works out. Purple stays here. And
Austin, where are you?
we need one brown here.
Austin,
She's napping down here, Vince.
down there?
Yeah, she's napping.
Oh. I'm getting sorry. I just I had to eat something.
I probably should have cut that off there, but let's see how this works out. We may end up doing it anyway. We'll see. So now we need blue after this brown. And so it is 3 blue and a green, and that should finish off this row.
What? I thought a $25 cold card on the floor might not be as good.
So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we need our green in the end. Alright, so this is what our basket of flowers is looking like right now. That is 20 rows. We need to go to 21 next. So we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 21. We need 1 green here. And we got to switch over to blue. And we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we need a brown. Alright, and then we're going back to our green. And we need 5 green. So there's 1. 2, and 5. We left, oh my goodness, cutting off that lavender. And we're going to end up cutting this purple off too. Well, let's not. Let's go back and get it. Sorry about that, folks. I forgot I needed that purple down there. So, we have 5 green, and we need to bring this purple up with us too. All right, so 3, 4, and 5. All right, now we need the purple. First of all, let's get these in order. And we need to cut this yellow off as well. Get that out of there. All right. Too many colors here. All right, so let's, all right, so it's green, blue, brown, and purple. So now we need 2 purples. And then a yellow. And leave that purple behind because we're not going to need that purple. We need a green next. All right, and now we need a brown. Nope, we need a dark brown. So we're going to bring this dark brown over here. So 1 dark brown, that there. Goodness. Switching over to brown. Now we need 3 brown. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now there's something wrong with that. We skipped a stitch somewhere. All right. Two, 3, 1. 5, 1, 2. All right. So we are supposed to have 3 blue and a green to finish this off. And if you have that, then you're good. Otherwise, you may have to take out all your stitches to find out where you made a mistake, which is what I am going to do right now. But I'm going to do that off camera. We will be back for row 22. All right, so there is row 21 is finished. That's what row 21 should look like. All right, let's chain 2 and turn for 22. And we're going to start out with the green in the second chain from the hook. Then switching over to our blue, we need 3 blue, so there's 1, 2, 3, and then we need our regular brown. So we need brown, and then we need a dark brown. So we'll bring that over too. And then we'll go back to our brown. And then we need 2 brown. So there's 1, and 2, and then we need a purple. And then we need to go to green. And then leave that purple there. And we are going to bring up this yellow with us. Bring this with us too, because we're going to need that. So now we need 5 green. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Oh, darn it. Yeah, we do need that brown. Never mind. All right, so 5 green, and then we need to bring up this yellow and put a yellow right here. And go back to green again. And then we need a blue. And then a brown. Almost put 1 extra stitch in there. And then we're going to go back to blue, and then we need 3 blue and a green, and that should finish off this row. And that is what row 22 looks like. We are going to mark that off. Chain 2 and turn our work. Now we are going to cut this yellow off because we do not need this yellow. a while. Alright, let's start out in the second chain from the hook with our green. And then we're going to our blue. And we need 6 blue. Alright. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. Let's bring up this brown, as we're going to need that later. 5. And 6. Alright, now let's switch over to our green. And we need 2 green. And then we need our mango again. So we're going to put 2 mango in here. And then back to our green. Oh, wait a minute. And we need 2 green. And then we need a purple. And we need to put 2 purple in. Alright. Then we're going over to our green. Or brown. We need a dark brown there, actually. So let's bring up this dark brown up here. Okay, so we need a dark brown. and a green. And we need a regular brown. And we just need one regular brown here. And then switching over to our blue. We need 4 blue and a green, and that should finish off this row. Okay, and here we go. There we go. This is the front of our work. So this is what our flower basket looks like so far. Looking pretty cool. All right. Let's mark off row 23 and go to 24. We're going to chain 2 and turn and start our square in the second chain from the hook. And go from green to blue. And now we need 5 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Now I just need a brown. And green next. All right, so we need 2 green. And then I need to bring in lavender. I need a lavender. And as we're doing this, we're bringing up this purple. Because we're going to need it next row. So let's do this lavender. All right. Leaving it behind and the purple. And then we need green again. So I need 2 green. And then we need our mango. And then we're going to bring in our pinkish purple for the middle. And then doing a mango again next. Then I need to switch over to green. And we are needing 2 green. And then I need 4 blue. No. 1 blue, 1 brown. All right, green. We need a blue here. And then we need a brown. And back to our blue. And then we have 4 blue and a green. Should finish off row 24. This is 3. this is 4. There we go. Alright, so there is 24. And we need to cut off a couple of these. This lavender one and this purplish pink one. Alright. Chain 2 and turn. And 425. In this row we should have 25 squares. And also where's our dark brown? There's the dark brown. I need to cut that off because I forgot to carry that along with me. Because we're going to need that in this row. Alright, so we've got green, and now I need 4 blue. It would help if I had the right color in my hand. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm guessing that that's the regular brown. And then we're switching over to green. And we're going to carry this brown with us. I don't know if I got in the right stitch. Alright. So we need 2. Oh my goodness, that didn't look right. It's not green, it's blue. Hang on. We need the blue. It's too blue. So there's one. And two. And then we're going green. And we need two green. So there's one. And two. And then we need this mango. I just need two mango here. And then back to green again. And we don't need that mango anymore. And we need two green. So there's one. And two. And then we need this purple. We need two of them. And then back to our green. And then we need one green. And a dark brown. And then a regular brown. And we're going to switch over to blue. And we need 5 blue and a green to finish off this row. So there's one. Two. 3, 4, and 5. Oh, there we go. So this is 25 rows. So you see our basket is coming together. I am thinking that is probably the last of the dark brown too. All right. So, we just finished off 25 rows, which is half the diamond is done now. So when we come back tomorrow, we're going to finish off our diamond, starting with row 26 to 49, and we're going to start decreasing on both sides, and I will show you how to do that tomorrow. I'm going to create 2 more corners, starting right off. So I hope you're having a lot of fun doing this basket with me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye now.